What is up, beautiful people? It is I, Robert Rizzi, Ginger Fusion, coming with you with a deck profile and completely unmonetizable content because there will be a lot of fucking F bombs in this video because this shit was terrible. My teammates are jerks and said I couldn't play control. And so I said, fine, fuck you. I'm going to play control. And it was the least amount of fun I've ever had playing cards. And I genuinely wanted to just jump off a cliff. So, that being said, I'll talk about the deck. I highly recommend if you enjoy this type of format to never ever talk to me. But yeah, so this is the deck. It was playing Sun Goku in Hell, which honestly works for the actual how it feels to play it. Most of the time, most of my opponents didn't get to play the game because your strategies stopped them from doing anything fun. It was ungodly boring. At one point, I played an opponent who was on U7, and I felt terrible because on turn, like my mulligan condition versus that is just a peel off. I got a peel off, so I played on turn one. He went first and I didn't attack on turn one, obviously. And so I played a peel off. He didn't have enough cards where he could combo to make it worth it to, actually gain Z energy. So he just comboed one card. I put it to the bottom. U7 not gaining any energy now on turn two. My turn two, I drew another peel off. So I played that peel off when he swung. So then I had two peel offs. And then from then on, then I think on turn three, I played my SCR. So if he did swing, he lost a energy, a card from his hand, and he couldn't combo any. And then once I had a Gogeta, my Unison, and a bunch of stuff, I killed him like from 8 to 0, I think. Actually, no, I couldn't kill him. That was the thing was I was able to play like he had enough defense where I couldn't kill him. But he had like three cards in hand, and I had to pass with like 12 with two ages. So technically, I didn't win right then and there, but like it was effectively over. The big things that make this deck effective are simple strategies. So the big thing is that your yellow and blue Saiyans, which is not a lot of, they get to come into play active. This is a huge factor in the current game because back in the day, multicolor kind of died, right? Like we were playing all this multicolor, and then it just fell off the earth because you couldn't afford to sit back for a turn and play a multicolor and pass. Well, since you can go, blue yellow on one, blue yellow on two with Zamasu, you have all the yellow you're going to need for the whole game, letting you play cards like Frost Deadly Poison, or this big 8-drop Gogeta, or this card if you want to use the yellow. But even one time I casted this, which surprised me, 4/3 energy. Um, but yeah, so some of the matches I had were very cool. I'll talk more about them. So I played against Brawly BR. That was awesome. The 6 cost could only play 2 battle cards. So at one point he played a battle card, and I tapped it with Zamasu in counter window two, so which meant that he couldn't play any more battle cards. And that turn I killed him because hand control, is a little bit stronger. I guess that's one thing to talk about. I'm so annoyed with this deck. I didn't talk about the good. So against hand control, generally blue's quite weak, right? So you might only draw one card a turn. You're not getting a lot of combats. They're just making you discard cards, and as a result, green's always done well. Well, this leader has a built-in draw mechanic, which I used every single game. So it just says draw one. You can bounce an opponent's battle card if you want, but I very rarely ever bounce their battle card. Mostly all it was there was just to draw two, basically. Draw one from my leader swing and then draw an additional from this. Um, because you have Aegis, you have a ton of extra energy, and you can just afford to tap out. The only way this could be more broken would be, of course, if it wasn't limit one, which it is. Other things to talk about was because I wasn't used to playing control, there were some plays that I could have done that I just didn't see, and some cards that I probably would have ran. I asked for my team for this list, they gave me one. I would have changed out a few cards. So, for example, I don't think I would have played this guy here, this 2-drop Goku. I know I never casted him because you don't really care about hand size in the game as Gogeta. Like, sure, they have a big hand, but so do you. What I would have preferred is 5-drop Vegito just to have another triple strike target because there was a few times that could have won me the game faster. And especially when I played against an Android 17 player, that was my only loss. I could have went for the game on one of the swings and like got ahead. So that was unfortunate for me. But yeah, one of the other things to keep in mind is because because of the energy marker, this deck is a lot more powerful than it used to be. I never would crack my energy marker unless I was going for the game. It effectively was like a trap to sit on. It was probably one of the coolest parts about the game. This was the first time I've got to test Masters. I think I went to one locals technically, but I don't think we played with energy markers. So this was my first experience with them, and it was really nice just having like a safety button. In blue, that safety button's way stronger than anything else because you effectively have a ton of energy because you have Senzu. So, if you tap out to play your 4 drop and then your 8 drop, which is, for 4 energy, and then let's say they negate that ability and they try to go for game, you can blow up your energy marker, Senzu Bean, and use a lot of effects. So that was very impressive, and I did do that once. I can't remember who I did it against, but I think that was against what's it called? Gohanks. But that's why the Gohanks match was a little bit easier than it probably should have been. But most of my opponents were ironically just on like rogue different decks, so I had to like learn what they did. One of the other cards that was kind of MVP and I liked a lot was actually just casting these Gokus. So early game, you can just say activate main. If you're a Blue Sun Goku, draw a card. And then Vegeta is the same text. You can only use one at a time, but it lets you build up a cantrip on like turn 2, so you can swing, combo it, and then play your where's that, the Z battle card, this card, so you can have it for the next turn because you're really not doing anything. So because you have so much triple strike, you're not really worried about a lot of damage. So you have triple strike from your when you're a Z battle card, you're also like untapping energy and doing stuff. But these two make a combo right here where if you have 5 or more energy and you're already this blue Gogeta leader, you can remove it from the game. You get gigantic plus 30k. I only actually did this once successfully, and obviously I won at that point, but it was just insane. Ironically, because I'm not used to this deck, I didn't pilot it properly. I'm sure somebody who's used to the deck could pilot it much better. I was just too bored. Like I was just sitting there and I was kind of just miserable, and I hate to say it. Let me think. What else is relevant? Oh, this guy. So normally you don't have enough energy in blue decks, right? Because these kind of effects right here, like Gohan, you don't want to pay 1 to get rid of a battle card and then just to gain a Z energy. But in this leader, you do because you just have a ton of energy open. So like frequently I would Aegis, have open energy, and just blow it like on a Sun Gohan effect. So next turn I could play a Z battle card. So it was very cool to see the utility of it. One of the other tricks we got to do was, of course, the stupidest effing thing in the entire game that has been done to me, but I got to do to somebody else, and that is a synergy you may not know about. So, Majin Buu Unison, we'll talk about that. So, you guys know the effect, right? Draw a card at the start of your opponent's main phase. You switch this card to active mode and one of your energy to active mode. That's the normal part, right? Well, this Gogeta says when your energy is switched to active mode by a skill, which Majin Buu counts as, you get to use one of your opponent's cards and switch it to rest mode, and then this card becomes active. So that's one of the stupidest things I was getting to do against opponents was on turn 3 I'd play this. They of course wouldn't attack into Gogeta generally because they don't want to lose a card. I think I was reading it wrong. I thought it got warped from the game. It goes to the bottom of the deck. So we had to fix that the first time I played it because originally my opponent warped it. I was like, nope, it goes to bottom. And we fixed it pretty fast. I think it was the second time I used it, like activating, like he was my round 1 opponent. And then right here, this effect. So when the two work together, though, it was just so dumb because then I'd have a unison that can remove cards. I'd get to tap one of their energy. So effectively, they're starting their turn 4 with 1 less energy. It was just dumb. I'm trying to think if there's anything I didn't like. So I didn't like this 3-drop in the deck. I understand the reason why it's here. It's here meant to be a target for this Gogeta, because otherwise you only have 4. And although I get that, I really hated having this card because you never could play it. But I'm guessing someone's done the math and they decided you have to run it. Oob, I never could cast. I'm not sure how you're supposed to have the access to it, but I would have liked any other card. UI Kamehameha, same thing. I never casted it. Generally speaking, it was very vanilla games, just If you got your SCR, super easy. And if I didn't get my SCR on 3, it was a lot harder. Like if I played it on 4 or 5, just a lot tougher. But my games weren't very exciting. They weren't very fun for me or my opponent, so I can't give you a ton of good feedback. Besides, the deck wins games. It's stupid, and I hope somebody makes something that just eats Gogeta because in the current format, I could see it doing really well, which is like more upsetting because I like to play green, and if you're playing green Gohan, this list would just destroy you. In large part because of these pilafs. The fact that you can't make Z energy consistently on your turn just really ruins the value. Because if they play one of these on 1 and then they also play one on 2, they're going to just slow down your combo effects. And even if you kill one, it's already replaced itself. So it's not like you're gaining actual value. My Gohan match might have been one of my easier matches because of that, and he played really well. Like I was sad because I was like rooting for him a little bit. But yeah, that's it.